So, hello everyone, I hope you're going well. Today I will just show you the chess tournament that I just ended yesterday, and honestly this is a very important video for all chess players who are having a very bad tournament. And the reason why I'm doing this upload is because I have just lost 150 rating points in a month, which is it's pretty hurtful, but at the same time it's normal, it's experience. Yeah, so what I would just show you in today's video before I explain how to deal with being sad and rating points and so on. The first thing that I want to show you is the first game of my chess tournament. I played against a 1700 rated chess player, and I played with the black pieces. And the tournament started pretty well, and I played a very good game. And I will just show you the game that I played. I played with the black pieces, and he started with e4. Because I'm playing against a lower rated opponent, I just decided to go for my modern defense. My opponent played d4, bishop g7, and the first inaccuracy, I think you see that, it's f4. And the problem with f4 is that it looks very aggressive because you're just controlling a lot of squares, and this is very threatful and so on, but at the same time you're not developed yet, so it's pretty difficult for you to push f5 because there is no pieces supporting the pawns. And if you play f5, let's say I play this right now, usually after this type of takes the center will be pretty weak, and we will see that during the game. So in the game I played d6, which is normal. I just want to go knight f6, and if he pushes e5 I just go back on d7. For more information you can just go check out my last modern defense theory upload. So he played knight c3, and I played knight f6. I do know the theory with c5, but this is not what I wanted to play today. I really wanted to be very accurate, and I decided to go knight f6, knight c3, and now c5. The reason why I started with knight f6 is that if I played c5 in this position, there is a very difficult variation with takes on d6 and queen takes, and the variation goes on this king f2, and then I gotta stop bishop b5, so I play a6, bishop b4. Yeah, this is something like that. In every case it's very difficult, and I didn't want to go in this variation. That's why I decided to play knight f6 first, so that after knight c3 c5, if he takes this and this, now it's a problem for my opponent, because after knight takes he cannot go on e5 and do a fork, and I'm just threatening to win the whole queen side, and yeah, this is just losing, I guess. I don't know what the internet says, but in every case it's pretty difficult to evaluate. Yeah, I'm a little better, but yeah, this is still not so easy because I will only grab opponents. Yeah. Okay, in every case, I do know it's a little better for me, but yeah. He played the move e5, which is of course a mistake. Why is it a mistake? Because of the d5 square, and not only. Actually, right now, when the pawn was on e4, he just controlled the whole center and the king side. But now he's just giving me some chances. So I played knight d7 because I have to retreat the knight, and I don't want to go back on g8. That's also the idea of the move d6. And he played bishop b5. Honestly, in the game, I asked myself why not e6. And e6 is called the midnight attack. The idea is that after pawn takes, this is just very bad, but this isn't so bad in this position because the bishop is already playing. So for example, this is logical, queen e2, castle, takes this, and yeah, I'm probably not better, but in every case, now it's possible for me to fight for an advantage because the king isn't castle yet. I do have more central pawns, but okay, he has some space advantage, and yeah, this is a very sharp position. But okay, now it's good enough for me because I can fight for a win, and this is actually a big problem for all players who are higher rated. They have to try to find some good ideas to provoke something. Yeah, but okay, my opponent decided to go. He didn't play e6. He played the move bishop b5. But now okay, now he's actually threatening e6 because after takes and knight g5, there is just a pin. I cannot go back with the knight, so that's why I played castle in this position. Now e6 isn't a problem anymore because yeah, I just castled, and if queen e2, now I'm time even to take some space in the center like that. And if he takes there, I can of course always take. The bishop goes out, but then b5 or knight c6. Center is pretty weak. So yeah, I'm not afraid anymore of e6. And in the game he played bishop e3, and now of course I decide to go a6. Why of course? Because if I do take, this is probably the best move. I quite didn't understand what to do after queen takes c4, because okay, if knight takes, I'm just winning a pawn, easy. And if he takes on d7, I can at least take there, and then I still win a piece. Yeah, okay. But the problem wasn't bishop d4, because I can just take, and at least the center pawn, the center is just completely gone, and now this is just an isolated pawn. And so that's why I decided to play a6, because if he retreats with the bishop, let's say on c4, I can take. Knight takes is the same problem, and if bishop takes or queen takes, I have knight c6. So it's not a tempo. It's not a one tempo. It's still very sharp. And if he takes, which is a move that he played, I can just take back with the knight. And right now, if he grabs on c5, I can just grab on e5, and the center is just gone. And okay, white isn't losing yet, but still, this is not so good. And since there are no more pawns in the center, the bishop pair is going to be very, very strong. Honestly, I thought I was a little better. Of course I am, but I didn't think that in this position he would just take on d6. Now taking on d6 is just a big, big mistake, because this is not the idea of the position. You played f4, e5, d4, bishop e3 to play queen d2 and castle queenside, and then try your last chance on the kingside. But then when he took on d6, I reacted a little too much like Nepomniachtchi. I made some dubious faces, and I really wanted him to play queen d2 in this position, because now this is just too slow. I can at least take and check, and if queen takes, then of course I just win the queen, so you have to play knight takes. And now, for example, knight f6, and if you castle that way, bishop knight there, the bishop has to move back, because otherwise you lose your only strong piece. And then, I don't know, bishop d7 probably, and now I just want some space, or queen a5 actually. I'm confident that the position is good for me. What does the engine say? Okay, the engine says nothing. Dubious engine. Yeah, just knight f6. Okay, queen a5 is the only mistake. Oh, even rook e8, because if this, and I can just go back and I have the e4 square. Okay, so I'm pretty happy to see that my analysis were correct. But okay, I took on d7. Yeah, and he castled kingside actually, which is still correct for me, but now I have to find some good ideas. So if I was just reacting normally and just playing the moves and not do any sort of dubious faces, my opponent probably wouldn't understand that taking on d6 was a mistake, because yeah, this is just so logical for someone who doesn't understand that the pawn is your only advantage, because in this position he had a space advantage in the center, so it means that he has a little more time than me to improve, to develop, to create some plans and so on. But after he took on d6, right now there's nothing from that. Now there are just many weaknesses in the center. Okay, he castled, and now I had to find a good plan. The problem that I have in this position is that if I just take, I'm worst directly because of knight takes or bishop takes, and this is just too weak, and I'm the only one who can lose. So I have to find an active position, and I have to try to find some good ideas. And in the start, during the tournament, the first games were pretty good, but then I lost one game, and at this point I just played badly. But right now I'm still playing good chess. Honestly, I'm very proud of this game. My opponent played a very good game. I told him after the game that he will have a great tournament. Of course, he did have a good tournament, because this is so easy to tell someone that he's stupid, but it brings us so much energy away. It's just more logical to say to someone, okay, now everything will be good, concentrate yourself, you're the best, and so on. This is just so easy to say this. It doesn't cost us energy, and it can help a lot of people. And I just told him that he's good, he has to stay concentrate, that this loss shouldn't make him angry on it or anything else. And I just told him, stay good, stay in shape, man. And yeah, of course he did, and he played a good tournament. So yeah, I played knight b6. Wow, but I'm just sacrificing a pawn. Yeah, but the problem is that if you take the pawn, I have a very strong move, and I'm very proud of this move. This is a move, I think, in this position, I have knight c4. Okay, if you take there, queen takes. Wait, I do not understand what I wanted to play in this position. I do not understand what I wanted. Yeah, exactly. Actually, I don't want to take back. Exactly. I'm very sorry. I misunderstood. Actually, after taking on c5, I don't want to take back. What I want to do is go on c4 in between move. And now, if he goes bishop d4, now I can take on c5. And if now you take the pawn, I have the move knight takes b2. And the idea is that I am attacking the queen. Okay, you're attacking my bishop, but at the same time, I am attacking your knight, which means that if you take my queen, I just take back. And now you just lost this pawn, and this is too much. I think I'm winning. Yes, I am. Good enough. Okay, and for example, let's say I take on b2 and you take my rook. Now I just take with the queen, and I'm attacking your queen and your knight, and you cannot defend, actually. If you go queen e1, I have check, and I pick up the knight, which is winning. Good enough. Okay. But in this position, my opponent decided to take on g7, which is the main line. This is the good way to play this position. I took queen e2, and I realized that I was a little too how can I call it? A little too fast, stupid, inaccurate. I just thought that I cannot take on b2 because of rook b1, which is of course dubious because rook e8. But of course in the game, now I had only, I don't know, 7 minutes. I just missed rook e1 or rook e8 in my head. And it's funny because I played bishop e6 and then I just understood, oh yay, and wait, he played f5, but I just understood that I had rook e8 after I played bishop e6, which is stupid. Yeah, I mean after knight b2, rook b1 and this. So yeah, but okay, let's say let's say I saw that after rook b1 I have rook there and the knight can actually escape. I still have to know what to do after queen a5. And the engine line is pretty incredible. This, and b5, which is of course unplayable. The idea is that now I have the c4 square, and if you play rook there in order to go in and mate me, then rook f7. Okay, still cold-blooded, wasn't so easy. Probably it is if you have some more time, but now it's a little too complicated. But okay. In the game, I decided to go bishop e6, and I just realized that I'm just a moron, because now I will either lose a pawn for no reason or lose a pawn for a good reason. He played f5, which is of course a mistake. Now b3 was the critical move, but the idea is that if I move the knight, there is check and he picks up his pawn. But the line that I had was queen a5, and now it's not so easy anymore. If you go knight e4, I can probably just go back, and probably I'm a little worse, but it's not so quite clear how to proceed with white. So yeah, and by the way, if you take the knight, I just take the knight on c3, and the c4 pawn is hanging, and I'm probably already winning. This is probably the best variation that we have. Then f6 and knight there. Okay, but this is not. Wait, probably this rook there. This is not over yet. But okay, in every case, after bishop e6, he played f5, which was surprising, because let's say you play a chess game, you play a game during your chess tournament, and you don't know what to think during the game, because the position is either too crazy, or you have to understand a lot of things, and you see that your opponent, who is lower rated, is playing good chess. The thing that you have to understand is that you will always lose games, so it doesn't matter if you lose right now or in 10 years. The second thing that you have to keep in mind is that if someone plays like an engine, he deserves to win. Point. And when I saw f5, I was like, okay, now either he sees something very crazy which I missed and now he deserves to win, or he's just a moron, and we will see. I took the pawn. Of course, I cannot take with the bishop because I lose the knight, so I had to take. It's not like I had a choice. Now I took on f5, and okay, now if it's my turn to move, I move the king and put my pieces over there and try to protect the king a little more, because my king is just wide open. But since there is a pawn on g2, I'm not afraid. So he played b3, but now, of course, I won't play queen a5, but queen f6, because right now the knight cannot go on e4, I can just take. So he played a move which I saw, and I a little underestimated this move. He played knight a4, and of course I saw the idea easily. If I move the knight, he takes his pawn, and I'm not up a pawn. I just have a very bad structure, but I saw a very cool move, which actually I saw this move in 30 seconds, but I took 15 minutes because I was really afraid. And again, I tried to be concentrated and to understand that if my opponent plays like an engine, he deserves to win. So I played the best move, rook a8. That is pretty easy. If you take my knight, bishop d7, and the knight cannot escape. Of course, you can take on c5, but after rook takes, the pawns are just too weak, so it's not a problem. So yeah, actually this is what happened in the game, and he played the move knight e5. I think he missed this idea of bishop d7. He played very fast, yeah. But okay, and now in this position I took the knight on a4, and yeah, so probably I'm better, says Jan. Humanly, it's very difficult to estimate this position because, okay, this knight is very active, this pawn is very weak, and okay, now he can probably just consolidate with either c3 or rook e1. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure during the analysis with a friend of mine and my opponent actually. But in the game, he made a blunder which loses immediately. He played the move g4. And g4, I saw the winning move directly. The move is f4, but still, after knight f3 or knight there, I still have to prove something. For example, knight d3 is the engine move, rook f8, this, and f3. And now, after queen takes, I can actually just take everything and take on c2. I'm just off a pawn with a good bishop against some bad pieces and some weak pawns, which is winning for me. Eyes closed, it's just winning for me. But still, we are playing a chess game. It's never over. So that's why I wasn't sure and I didn't want to go into this variation. I decided to play the second move, which I saw immediately, which was, of course, bishop takes c2. The engine doesn't like that because it's not +4 anymore, but this is still a good move. So you cannot take because I just take your knight, and if rook takes, then I take your rook. And if pawn takes, king g8, and this is mate. So you have to take with the queen, and then I can do whatever I want. Probably check and picking up this pawn is good enough, but even taking there is not so bad. And yeah, probably it's fine for me. What does Yunzhen say? Okay, he says, I'm moron, stop playing chess. Just rook fd8, and if rook there, rook d7. Okay, good enough. Wow, this is a mistake. Okay, never mind. Okay, in every case. In the game, after bishop c2, he plays the move, which I saw immediately for him, but this is just losing. He played the move knight d7, and now this is just game over. Queen d4, queen f2 forced. If you put the rook there, then I can just grab the knight, and if you take it there, I can just pick up the pawn. I think that is, yeah, exactly. And let's say you put the king away, then this is just mate. Yeah, actually you have to give up your queen, so it isn't mate, but still winning. Still winning. But okay, he played queen f2, I took on g4, and in this position he resigned. If you put the king on h1, this is just almost mate. And if you put the queen, I can minimum just trade and play something like, don't know, rook there, then I cannot escape anymore. And if you go there, rook there, you cannot protect the knight, and he cannot escape. But okay, it's just completely winning for me. I'm up, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 pawns. So yeah, it's just clearly winning for me. And yeah, it was a pretty good game. So now how to deal when you lose some games which you shouldn't lose. So if you start to react emotionally like I do, I'm always reacting pretty strongly because I don't want to lose. I hate this. Actually, some people in France, many people in France are talking about this, that I'm just too emotional and I'm just rage quitting a lot of chess tournaments, which of course I'm not, but I did that one time, and yeah, it's still hurtful, but honestly, just stay concentrated, because if you really hate chess, you wouldn't play chess. If it was a bad game, a stupid game, and so on, you wouldn't play chess, honestly. So just stay focused. Do not forget that you will lose billions of games. Even a day when you will be a grandmaster, you will lose a ton of games for no reasons against very lower rated opponents. It always happens. And yeah, stay in shape, do a lot of sports, concentrate yourself, work on chess, watch some cool videos, play some blitz tournaments, because the problem is that when you lose too much, you can start hating chess, still enjoying chess, but hating chess, and then you won't make any sort of progress, which is not what you want, and nobody wants that. So if you lose too much rating points during classical chess tournaments, try to play some blitz rated tournaments or rapid rated tournaments, and try to enjoy chess, and you will see that everything will be good again. So if you want me to analyze the rest of my games during this chess tournament, you can always have me as a chess coach. All the links are, of course, in the description. If you want to support the channel, you can just go in the comment section. All the informations are over there, and see you in a future upload. Take care.